Good morning, everybody. It is Friday and it's a little bit chilly in Las Vegas, but we still are having another day in paradise. How happy are we? Today, we have our stats first. Then we're going to talk a little bit about a tip for you. And then we have 6 cybersecurity tips for you today. First of all, we have been selling 49 homes a day since the first of the year. That's half of what we did last year in the first 19 days. So that's just something for everybody to uh, adjust your business plan, because I know the market's going to shift, but it might not shift as soon as we like it to, but it will shift. The other thing is more 2.5% commissions, and I know we can't talk about that, so forgive me, trade commission. But anyway, the commissions are lower, let's put it like that, and the prices are lower. So sales are lower, prices are lower, and your commission checks are lower, and or not, right? Because the market has really slowed down. So be armed with knowledge so that you can hopefully get the buyers off the fence. The mortgage rates are going down slowly. Check with your lender. There's many programs out there that can help the buyers and the sellers make their moves. So please dig deep. Don't put your head in the sand here. The $1 million homes are doing 2.25 a day. Now, last year in January, they started off a little slow. In 2021, they started off with a rage, as they did in 2022. So we'll see how we pan out with the $1 million plus homes. But we have only sold 43 so far this year, and that's about 2.25 a day. We have 797 available homes now. The other day, I think we had 787. So in the past couple of days, 10 more $1 million+ homes have gone on the market. When you look at the days of inventory, we have 113 days of inventory, and that's based on the January sales of 64 per day. And at the end of December, at the end of January, we'll adjust that number to what the average daily sales are going to be for January. I suspect, I don't know, 64 last month. Let's hope we get up to maybe 55, 60, but we'll see. That's just my wish. It's not a guesstimate, it's a wish. Hopefully we just rev it up a little bit to maybe 60. 50, I'm sure it'll be 50, because the next next 2 weeks, we'll be doing more closings, especially as we get toward the end of the month. Anything else remarkable here that I can tell you? Yes, I have a couple things I want to let you know. One is that, lost my sticky note here, there it is. I changed the single family home median price to $423,000 to reflect the first 20 days of the month. That's what it is as of the first 23 of the first 20 days of the month. It's $423,000. And so that's come down from $430,000, which we started the month off with. And last January, we started off with $430,000. So just keep that in mind. Now, on Wednesday, we had 200 more homes in that price range available, but that was up to $430,000. When I backed it down to $423,000, we have 200 less homes. So we have 1,783 single family active homes that are $423,000 or lower. So you can see across the board, they're subtle changes, but there are changes going on. The other notable today is the investors. They're buying 34% of our inventory right now. And one of the things that a student said in our class last week was that Open Door was buying a lot of these homes. So I checked, and sure enough, of the 317 sales this month, Open Door has almost done 9% of them, close to 10. I would suspect they're going to be 10% of our sales by the end of the non-owner occupied sales by the end of the month. They're out there buying homes, and I didn't see Zillow. I just saw Open Door. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't know how long they're going to be doing that with the way the price ranges are going. They might slow it down, they might speed it up. So it remains to be seen. If they buy a house today and it's worth less, because they like to turn them around. So if it's worth less in the short term, they might slow down. If they're looking at the long term here, they might buy them now because the prices are lower. So we shall see as the trend unfolds. All righty. So that's what's going on in our market. I just feel a shifting going on, and I think you can see the subtle shifts. So let's continue here. So what can you do to help yourself get out there and maybe shake some trees for some people who you haven't reached for whatever reason? And one of the things that Brian Buffini's telling us is if you can boost your credibility and trust with client testimonials. Now, I know everybody probably knows it, but do you do it? So the consumers today, they're checking online. They're checking to see if you have testimonials, and 70% of them say positive reviews and testimonials make them trust a business more. So pause and ponder that, because if you have people that you know would give you a testimonial, you can paraphrase. You can say, "Hey, Lois, do you mind if I give you some help with giving me a testimonial? I'll do did you like my business? Did you think I did a good job?" Trying to ask them some questions and then say, "Can I form a testimonial based on how you answered my questions?" And they're going to say yes. We've never had anybody say no, because we ask them questions to get a positive response of the things that we know we did right. Was it the service, or was it the experience? And that's a biggie, because buyers and sellers today, according to stats that Terry Watson told us several months ago, that the stats today say that the buyers, sellers, investors are looking for a good experience. Yes, they want the service. They know you're professional, or they wouldn't be using you, right? Hopefully. So you're giving them good service. But how's the journey? How are you handling those ups and downs? Are you making them aware of everything as the journey goes through? Yeah, you're putting a sign up, you're putting it in escrow, you're making sure the due diligence and the timelines are correct. That's the service. But what is the experience that they're enjoying? That is major. And if you can craft or wordsmith your testimonial to say that they had a nice journey, and put it in like, "Oh, we had such a pleasant time, with Lois. She was very patient with us. The journey was much nicer than we had expected. We thought there would be more bumps in the road, but there were bumps in the road. Lois really helped us." I mean, you need to somehow wordcraft and wordsmith the value that you give them with the journey. Okay. Now, clients tell their friends and families about you. And one of the first things they'll most likely do is look up on your website. Hopefully, it's an Agent Formula website, and read about your business and see what other clients have to say about the service you provided them. And testimonials they read on your website can confirm that you're the right agent for them. Yeah, because people want a smooth journey. They know there's going to be bumps in the road, but how do we put them on that magic carpet and eliminate them feeling those bumps? So make sure that you can have their testimonial say that, because that's what they're looking for. And it's important, if you think about it, once you craft your testimonial from the answers that they gave you, from the questions you asked them, that's what they're going to remember when they tell their friends. And guess what? Their friends want a smooth journey too. So I know I'm going over this a little bit, but you really have to make it sink in. Terry Watson took a whole hour to explain this to us. What's the difference between service and the experience and the journey? So, um, pardon my 5 minute rant, but it's really important. And you need to understand that maybe you have to take somebody to lunch. When let's say you had you worked really hard on a deal and you really got it closed, and you want to just take the client to lunch and talk about it, and then get in there about the testimonial, because if it was something that wasn't such an easy deal, and the client knows that things are rough, but they just don't want to feel the bumps. So anyway, again, I say get testimonials. And um, I'm going to put this up here in the group, but here's the second part of that, which is kind of what I'm saying. Um, you need to put your testimonials on your website, during your buyer presentation, in your listing presentation, and in your marketing materials. And of course, Brian Buffini doesn't say it here, but I'll say it. Tom Ferry and I are buds when it comes to the Google business page. You really need to have those testimonials on your Google business page and on your Instagram. So on your social media, those testimonials speak loud and clear. And if you could do, and the best thing, of course, is to get a short video with a client giving you a testimonial. And that's like off the charts, and they don't even talk about that here. So, but I'm telling you, you'll hear it. You heard it here now, but you'll hear it later by other people once they realize, oh yeah, I forgot to put that in our little document here. So, okay, let's move on, everybody. Today we're going to talk about cybersecurity. We're having a cybersecurity class today, and I'll show you this here. Let me hide this. Yeah, it's a risk reduction. It's 20 till 10 right now. The class is at 10 o'clock. Somehow I'm going to make it to the office by 10 or 10:05 to be there. But it's a great class on risk reduction. It's a required class. Kane, who is our information technology specialist at our company, and he also is the developer for Agent Formula for us, and constantly updating it and keeping it working, and all the things, wonderful things that Kane does. So he's going to teach that class today, and you can ask him just about any question. So if it's not too late, Zoom, you can Zoom in or walk in. It doesn't matter. Our process is easy. Being in the IT business, we make it easy. We know that the less clicks or the less hassle you have, the more you're going to enjoy our service and experience that we give you. So sign up at be.vegas if you're interested in today's class. If you need a contracts class, we're having one on Monday, and Jimmy Dag is going to be teaching that class. And this is about the buyer's brokerage agreement. And it's really a great class, because when we poll how many people in the class, we take a poll, how many people in the class have their buyer sign a buyer broker's agreement? Not that many. So it is a guideline in the NRS statutes that we use the buyer broker agreement. And a client isn't a client until they've signed one. So either that or the listing agreement, right? So I'm telling you that there's some important things to know here, and some important things you can take away. If you don't have them sign it, you might want to recite some of the verbiage from it. And we've always made it a point that buyers know that they need to be loyal to us. And what I've learned is years ago when I'd used the buyer brokers agreement, it was much less. I think it was one page back then. And the main thing was, if you're not going to be loyal to me, don't even bother signing it. And you have to figure out how to wordsmith that one, because you don't want to incite your client either. But they need to understand that this is what you do for a living, and that you trust that if you're not doing things the way they would like you to do them, that they just tell you. And if they would prefer someone else, just tell you. It's not going to hurt your feelings. It will hurt your feelings if they go behind your back. So, the truth hurts more, but a lie lasts longer. Anyway, so that class is Monday 10 to 1. Sign up at be.vegas. And Jimmy Dague does a great job at that. And I just love that class. So let's get on here today with our feature, which is back to the front page here. Front page. Where'd it go? Here it is. I went backwards. Let's go here. All right. Cybersecurity. That's what we're going to talk about today before the cybersecurity class. So if there's people that will, whether you know it or not, you have to worry about many forms of cyber attacks, from phishing to spyware, and you need to know about these digital threats. And you need to be more careful when you're online. Scammers will target you in person and online. Now, here's something new. Some crooks will even show up at your door and demand money. Yes, it's gotten to that point in some parts of the country. So people are becoming very bold in this age of rage, as we want to call it lately. So if they're willing to bully you, they're more willing to dig through your trash, and that's a big one. So it sounds gross, but poor data security habits can turn your trash cans into gold mines. And criminals can find personally identifying information in papers you throw away. Not only that, old gadgets are also physical cyber threats. Do you know that if you have these light bulbs that they are remote, that there's a little chip in there, and if you throw one of those light bulbs away, that they can get that light bulb and use that chip to hack into your router system, your wireless system in home. So everyday objects you don't think about can cause chaos in your digital life. So you need to check your house for items that could be dangerous in the wrong hands. And this may seem menial, but savvy criminals can turn ordinary things into security compromising nightmares for you. So here's a few things we're going to talk about. I think I have about 6 of them here. Printers. Printers are overlooked, because they're helpful gadgets that complete your home office, but hackers see them as easy access points to infiltrate your systems. So cyber criminals could steal your data and slip into your network if you have an unsecured printer connected to the internet. Plus, printers store sensitive data you need to protect. For instance, if you have an all-in-one printer, you may have vital information that are stored in its memory, like documents, tax returns, print logs, fax logs, and you need to be aware of the fact that you can put a password on your wireless device. Now, I have an HP printer here at home, and it requires it. So hopefully yours does too. Now, if you've ever printed personal documents, okay, you should secure your printer so hackers can't rifle through those secrets. And it's easy to do. First of all, you need to make sure, and I just did this the other day, I updated all of my drivers on all of my different systems. And we'll get into what I use to do that another day. What I have to pay a price for it because it's like it's a monthly subscription to a service that does this, but it's very important in today's world. The more criminals there are out there, the more insurance we need, and it's just one of those things we have to add to our budget. We want to limit access to those that we trust, because they might not be as trustworthy as you when it comes to giving out data. And you need to keep your printer and your computer off the network when you're not using it, and always set a password, and always secure your networked printer. So if other people in your house, like I know John uses my printer, well, I need to make sure that he has a password as well when he accesses the printer. And different printers now today, I think most of the printers I think today require a password. So if you don't have that password, then you can't use that networked printer. But that's something that you need to look into. Number 2, we talked about this. Your trash bin is a treasure trove for identity thieves. So they can find pre-approved credit card offers, credit card bills, bank statements, medical records. Bank statements. What I've been trying to do is eliminate the bank mailing statements, even to the office. Um, and if they do, we have a shredder at the office. At home, we're going to talk about that in a minute, what you need to do to remedy that. But there's so many pieces of information around your house that have your social security number, your email addresses, your employment history, your bank accounts, and so much more. It doesn't take a hacker very many pieces of information to hack into your social security number, uh, different things on social media you shouldn't do. Don't tell people where you were born, and don't give them your birthday. Those two pieces of information make it easy for a skilled hacker to steal your identity. Um, and that's the next sentence here. They can steal your identity, and then you get into legal trouble. And they can even commit employment or tax fraud to steal your benefits. So be careful. Please be careful. So let's talk about the remedy. My big remedy is a shredder. And I have two I'm going to suggest. One of the things I will tell you is Frank Abagnale gave a 1-hour lecture to us at a commercial meeting a couple months ago. Yes, he was there in person, and he talked for 1 hour. I don't think he took a breath, but one of the things he said, get a micro cut paper shredder, not one that does strips, not one that does crisscross. Do the micro cut, because you can't put the micro cut back together. And things have gotten so sophisticated that people can take some of those different shredded types and put things back together. So you want a micro cut, they can't do it. It'll do that to paper, CD, and credit cards. And this particular one is a little bit more pricey. It's $124, but that's just because it has a 5-gallon bin. It has it's a nonstop 60-minute continuous runtime with a basket capacity of 300 documents. So this is a little bit depending on it depends. Maybe everybody in your family needs it. Maybe you and your spouse need it, but you can determine which one you want. This one is a little cheaper. This one is less than half the price. It's a 12-sheet cross-cut paper and credit card shredder. And again, it's a micro cut. So that's important to remember. You want a micro cut. Now, number 3, I'm going to move it a little quickly here because I'm running out of daylight. Hard drives can become physical cybersecurity threats, and you need to erase your hard drives before you get rid of your computer or laptop. And people save things, wipe that hard drive clean. And if you want, you can get, I think I have a Samsung little hard drive, terabytes on it. It backs up quickly, and then you go and you erase your hard drive. And I've put this how-to down here, and I will put this in the group. Maybe not immediately, but at least by tomorrow morning, by tomorrow at noon, I'll have all this helpful little tips in one little document that you can keep. All right, so let's move on here. USB. Now, this is a big one because, I see USB, those little thumb drives laying around everywhere. So you need to be careful with those. And people pick them up. And the only way that they can determine whose it is to put it in their computer and find out whose it is. Well, guess who does that? Criminals. They'll put a USB, lay it on the floor maybe, and come into your office and lay it down, or come into your house, or come into the drugstore, wherever, and you pick it up. Then you put it in your computer to see whose it belongs to, and voila, they install a cyber attack into your computer. They twist your curiosity in a Trojan horse. So the minute you plug it into your computer, you've got malware. So that's something that you might not think about, but it's a new thing, I guess, and it could even infect the entire network and lock down company files. So you need to be careful that you don't put it into your office computer. Yeah, so if somebody dropped it, It's on them. Don't put it in your computer. And you should be cautious of your own personal USBs. And so I went on Amazon and I found this little, they call them landy yards, and you attach them to your USB, and then you attach that to your key ring. I mean, it's amazing that we still have key rings, but yes, attach it to something. You can even put it on a bracelet. They have these little decorative bracelets you can buy. I just found something cheap, $7, $8, and you get it in a day, and then you can attach your USB to it. And a lot of people carry USBs back and forth to work. Anyway, so protect your data, and then moving forward here, routers. Now this one, I'm going to put this one, of course, with the information I'm going to give you on one sheet of paper for all these tips without all the verbiage. Um, so somebody can go online, anybody, and find out what your router's password is, because what Frank Abagnale told us, we're hardly anybody, and this was 6 months ago, hardly anybody goes in and changes their router password. When it gets installed, whether you have, Cox Cable or CenturyLink or somebody else install it, or they don't go in and change that password. Whatever the password came with on the router, that's what, and they can go online and find out what that is and get into your system. I know. That to me is really something everybody needs to do. And then smartphones. Let's say you bought a phone. What do you do with the old one? Well, you can throw it away in a drawer and forget about it. But what you might want to do is go down to a store and sell it. But before you do that, wipe your old device first. And there's ways to do it. And if it's an iPhone, here's how you wipe your iPhone clean. And if it's an Android, here's how you wipe your Android clean. All righty, everybody. That's my 6 tips, and I will post these in the group. I'm on my way to the office right now, so I won't do it now. I might take a minute and I'll post these stats, but the rest of the information I'm going to have to do a little work on. I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. It's so great to be back, and hopefully stay positive. Remember what I said the other day, positivity can make your life longer and make your life healthier. And we all want quality of life.